Hello out there. Welcome to Divine Me Time Alignments. This is Beth, and I am here to support your commitment to healing and knowing your true self. So I'm still trying to get some more practice in here with live streaming and using OBS, which is a software for doing that. And today I thought I would share a blog I wrote back in August of 2024, and actually it might have been written a little earlier than that because I think about that time my previous website had gotten hacked, and so I was carting over a bunch of different blogs entries that I had written previously. But anyway, the topic is finding path and purpose. So feel free to visit my website at divinemetime.com. If you want to know more about these alignments that I'm going to be offering every month based on my blog. And these are just little bites of things to think about, contemplate, and go along with a practice that we'll get to. So here's the little magic thing happening. Ooh. Okay. So let me join you here with finding path and purpose. Just a moment to pause and really take in the energy of this picture. I don't want to say a lot about it, I just want you to feel it. And then consider for yourself, what does your path feel like? Does it feel like chaos, or does it feel peaceful? Does it seem clear, or is it confusing? So, are you afraid of being left behind? Do you struggle with to identify a purpose, or find yourself thinking that you're on the wrong path? Are you fearful that your life doesn't have a purpose, or that you might be living off purpose? That's what we're going to be talking about. So first of all, how are we conditioned? Think back to an earlier time in our collective consciousness when we still actually believed that if we didn't get that new shampoo, someone else's hair would be silkier than ours and give them a better life, right? Which is all that advertising is about. We don't maybe fall for that so much anymore, although some still do. We know that one product is pretty much equal to the next. The point is, there is no difference to this kind of belief versus the spiritual idea of being on a particular path as necessary to a better life. Our pre-spiritual conditioning follows us into spirituality. In other words, what we fall for in terms of materialistic advertising, we fall for in terms of spirituality. And we fall for it again and again. Look, it's simple. You can't not be on your path, whatever it looks like, wherever you are, however you feel, you're on path. You're on it. You're living it. Even if you're resisting your life with every ounce of your being, you're still on your path. The only one that's ever available to you. There's no other choice. Even if choices appear, even as you come to forks in the road, no matter which fork you choose, even if you choose going backwards, you are still on your path. Even if something you wanted more than anything else in the world doesn't come to you, if you missed that great chance, if you lost the contest, you, my dear, are still on your path. The good and the bad. Everybody's been seeking relief from feeling bad, thinking that spiritual people don't feel bad. This is too huge a lie. And guess what? Those difficult feelings you feel are your path. You're just not using them correctly. Probably because you're so obsessed with them, meaning that you're not on your path. They're an indication of what you aren't seeing, of what you are misinterpreting. They are an indication of the lies that you have yet to root out. This came up Sunday in the Love and Light field on Insight Timer. Our emotions and whatever we are dealing with or feeling, the heartbreak, the loneliness, the disappointment, the anxiety, all of it is just a signal that we've lost touch with something true, something truer, perhaps. When we suppress or ignore or refuse to listen to those signals, it's very easy to get confused, especially if we, maybe instead of listening to the message that they're trying to deliver, we manufacture one in our heads, like, I'm lonely because I'm a horrible person, or I'm filled with anxiety because something terrible is going to happen. How often is that true? Probably not very. It's bizarre, isn't it? It's also part of the mysterious game of life. The very belief that you could be off path is still not enough to throw you off of it. But it sure can distract you for a while and make you feel all kinds of worse. And then, because you feel bad, you're certain you are somehow lacking, mistaken, or lost. Well, guess what? You kind of are, but only kinda. This crazy idea that we can be off purpose or off path is a spiritual lie. It's one of the biggest pieces of bogus being passed around right now, maybe because it sells stuff. It causes all sorts of anguish, guilt, self-doubt, and needling feelings of dissatisfaction with life to have this doubt. We get ideas like, if only I was someone else, more like her, less like him, doing that instead, certified in this, living over there, fill in the blank. And it completely distracts us from the here and now. It blinds us to what is real. You're not going to miss the bus to enlightenment or ascension or anything else, or screw up in some unrepairable way. You're not falling behind. And here's why. You've already chosen. If you're even bothering to read this, you've made your choice. You're up. There's no going back to sleep. And the work you have to do is right in front of your face, in your body, and behind your own eyes, right here, right now. It's all your journey. We can never be living someone else's dream or walking anyone else's path. It can appear that way, but it's not really that way. The only one in your body is you. The only one in your mind is you, even if the seeds that have flowered there originally belonged to someone else or are a result of your conditioning. And if you find yourself living the life of your mother or father or what they wanted for you instead of the one you want for yourself, you're still on your path. And in a moment of grace, you may experience a shift in perception that allows you to start honoring your truth instead of someone else's. You won't be on a different path. You'll still be on your path, the only one you can walk from the time you're born till the day you die. Maybe it'll feel like a different path because you will have made a vibrational pivot. You will have had an aha or a realignment into truth. But even here, the journey has only just begun. While there's no way you can be off your path, there is a way you can be walking in a bit of a haze and a daze. The fog is there as a symbol of misdirected attention, same as your emotions are. But this can play an essential role if we recognize it for what it is and don't turn it into some sinister belief, such as I'm off my path. Maybe we've lost the plot, but certainly not the path. Though it is a lie, even the belief that we can be off path still serves a path purpose, or purpose on your path. That's a mouthful. It too is trying to redirect your attention. Maybe you keep bumping into the same patterns, the same old karma, the same issues circling or spiraling over again and again. Maybe you feel lost or without purpose. It isn't that you are objectively lost or ever could be. It's relative to a narrow perspective and a dimension in which we're often tempted to believe crazy things about the way we feel, like that we could be off our path or purpose, and give our power away to those who promise to put us right. This might sound confusing or difficult to understand, so let's try it from another angle. The whole picture. Think of your path as multidimensional, like a drawing that's layered on top with other drawings on tracing paper. We can shift our attention to include all layers or only some. Sometimes it's useful to narrow in on one layer, but other times we need the whole picture for a complete perspective. Sometimes we might be so focused on a particular layer that the other layers seem to have vanished from existence. They're still there, of course, and part of the bigger picture. We just need to back up and flip some pages to see them again. You see, it is only the whole picture that reveals the truth. You are divine. It is this picture, this bigger picture, that has the power to open up the path, allowing you to explore your personal gifts, talents, and experiences unique to you. By widening our perspective, we begin to strengthen our connection to our higher aspects, and our path begins to reveal more layers. It starts to feel more like the one we thought we'd be walking. The haze and the daze begins to clear. But what is it that helps us shift perspective? What needs to happen for us to put all of the layers of the picture back together? And here we go, the shadow, which I had talked about in another alignment called Getting Beyond Blame, which I will try to link in the video if I can. And here's the true, mysterious, and fascinating thing, as well as the one thing most people don't want to hear. You know, all that stuff on your path that makes you feel like you're not on your path, the doubt, the confusion, the dissatisfaction, those very things we resist, deny, avoid, run from, and stuff down, they are essential parts to that bigger picture. They're layers on that grander picture. Rather than expendable, they are absolutely necessary. Without the lines they draw, the bigger picture would never be complete. This is why dealing with the shadow is so critical. When we resist the shadow work that we must do, we remain stuck in what some might call the low vibrational manifestation of our life's path. Okay, so here's a little departure. You will always be on your path, like I said, from the day you are born to the day you die. But you can walk that path with a low vibration. Or you can do the work and walk that same path in a higher frequency. We see the parts and the surface layers of our life when we are in a low vibrational manifestation of walking our path, but we don't see how they connect. And when we try to see the bigger picture, we can't, because we don't want to include the page we're on. We don't want to feel what's up. We haven't been taught to think multidimensionally and inclusively. We've been conditioned to think black or white and maybe gray. The idea of layers of reality boggles the mind, but it is the nature of consciousness. There's so much that we don't have access to in the mind, and yet we're trying to constantly live from the energy up here instead of here and in the gut. So it's the very things that we revile, ironically, that allow us to access that eagle-eyed view. Spiritual bypass isn't life-saving, it's plastic surgery. Lots of people try it. They want to feel good, they want the perfect life, and they want the absence of suffering, and that's all a fantasy. It's fake and it's phony, like an overpowering artificial fragrance that burns the nostrils and slowly destroys our sense of smell. It keeps us from fully realizing the enlightened potential of our path and walking that path in a higher vibration. So relax. You're always on path. You're always on purpose, whether you like it or not, or even understand it or not. And whether or not you walk the highest possible manifestation of that path and purpose is a matter of the way you walk and not the path itself. It's directly commensurate with the amount of the bigger picture you are willing and able to see. And if you don't see as much as you wish you did, that too is your perfect path. It is directly proportionate to the depth to which you are willing to dive. The keys: acceptance, forgiveness, and humility. So stop worrying about whether or not you're on your path and use that energy to simply love the things that make you imperfect and human. Embrace the qualities that embarrass you, that you hate about yourself, and that make you feel ashamed. They're the very things standing in your way, but not in the way that you always thought. They're not keeping you from walking your path. And they're keeping you from walking your path. This is the stuff that will propel you on your path and elevate it to the bigger picture. They are the very qualities that can help you unlock your true gifts. So let me just explain for a moment when I said, they are the things standing in your way, and that they're not standing. That both things are true. It's a paradox, right? Because we're talking about this experience of this character that we are all playing a role, and that compared to our true nature, which is always perfect and really completely pathless. If you want to go another step further, there is no path or purpose other than the purpose of being who you are. The true self is what is informing you in your experience. Now, do we cooperate with that? Do we fight that? Only on the personal level. It's not easy to understand, but I'm hoping that something is coming across and you're making some sense of it for yourself. So, let's see, where did I leave off? I'm just going to read this last paragraph or the last couple of sections here. So stop worrying about whether or not you're on the path, and use that energy to simply love the things that make you imperfect. Is that a tall order? And human. Embrace the qualities that embarrass you, like losing your place, that you hate about yourself, and that make you feel ashamed. They're the very things standing in your way, but not in the way you always thought. This is the stuff that will propel you on your path and elevate it to a bigger picture. They're the very qualities that can help you unlock your true gifts. That's right, your divinity is hiding in those shadows. So the next time your mind's trying to convince you that you've lost the plot or don't seem to have a purpose, just keep walking, or better yet, dance. So let's do a little practice around this idea, and it's not going to be shadow work. Let's focus on, and honestly, I hadn't really thought about what the practice is because this was written before I started designing alignments to have a practice. What I would like to do is actually share a mudra with you all. And let me go back to this picture. You know, one of the things that I shared in here was this belief about you can never be living someone else's dream or walking anyone else's path. Not really. And I think I want to work with this. You know, because a lot of us believe, you know, we're somehow influenced by others and we're so willing to do what they want, and that kind of feels like that makes us off path, or we've gotten confused somewhere along the way because we were listening to other people when we should have been checking in with ourselves, sort of thing. And let's work with that energy a little bit, because alignments are all about healing, and this is one way to heal any of that you may feel. So do I want to, let me change view here if I can do it. Here we are. That's me. Okay. So let me close that. So sit comfortably, and we're going to form a mudra, lion mudra. So this is just taking one hand out like a stop. The other hand is just open in the lap, palm up. And really relax this hand. It doesn't have to be stiff or in any particular way. You can leave it close to the body so it's comfortable. And then just allow your body to relax, feeling your feet on the floor, your seat in the chair. And tune into the breath coming and going. Settle into your body. This mudra is about fearlessness, courage. And I just want you to feel into the power of this mudra as you continue to breathe and let go of any tension that you may notice around the jaw, forehead, neck and shoulders, belly, or anywhere else you may feel tension. Let it go each time you exhale. And then feel you are present in this moment. And this symbol of the hand up, as if to say stop, is a signal to the world. You can stop all of that activity that is leading you to confusion and self-doubt, worry and concern. By holding up your hand, you are embracing your power to pause in your life. Not only to pause, but to feel surrounded by a little buffer, a buffer of space. A buffer of peace, centeredness. You are signaling to all of those thoughts, the external noise and demands, that there's no room for them in this moment. Be aware of what arises. And whatever arises, feel also this signal. And allow the quiet space, the emptying and releasing, of whatever no longer serves you. Take a step back from all of the demands, the expectations, and feel yourself with yourself. It's a very powerful, peaceful gesture. It's not, there's no fighting, there's no strain or stress. It's very easy. It's simply putting the hand up. You have the power, no one else. Continue to breathe, releasing tension. feeling the space you've given yourself to stop the world, to stop the inner chatter. To stop the confusion. Doubt. And helplessness. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Let it go through the mouth as you lower your hand to meet the other. And when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes. And just notice how you feel. So I would love to hear from you if you enjoyed this practice, if you've noticed in your own life whether you wonder if you're on path or have purpose. And if you'd like to know more about alignments or join me live when I start them officially in January, you can either sign up according to the links in the description of the video, or you can visit the website Divine Me Time, and you can sign up there. Okay. Thanks for joining me. Have a beautiful rest of your day.